please plug everything that you're doing right now. What's coming up in your future? The one thing I want to
Why are you plugging Azi? I'm going to go bathroom. Oh, sorry. I've tried my best.
You might miss the outro, my brother.
Concentration as well. I think, people forget, like, if you're struggling, like, you have all of these deadlines at work and you're struggling to function, sometimes it's because you've been so overwhelmed and stressed that you've forgotten to eat. And how are you going to be able to concentrate effectively if you haven't been giving your body the source of energy that it needs? Exactly. The gut. But yeah, just being very careful. Be careful where you get your nutrition advice from. There's a lot of influencers who give nutrition advice that is not evidence-based. They're sucking it out of their thumb. They're telling you to do all of these things. They're telling you to follow certain diets that they themselves haven't followed, where they have actually had work done, or they've done all of these cosmetic procedures, which I'm not opposed to. Anyone can do anything that they want with their bodies. Everyone has agency over their bodies.
Welcome to the
It's literally that Nelson Mandela is saying. Together we can literally do more. The journey continues.
Welcome to the
This is giving ASMR.
It's professional. Hey, welcome to the Posties podcast, episode number 34.
No, I literally told you before it's 33, bro.
33, man.
It be like that sometimes.
We grow and we live and we learn, man.
We're growing, guys, and you guys are growing with us as a family, guys. As you know, subscribe, comment, like, do all of the things. We've got someone very special for you today. She has a podcast on her own. Alice is going to introduce her nicely. Guys, let's get into it.
Ladies and gentlemen. The main event of the evening. We have the number one dietitian in the country.
South.
Look at the continent. It's crazy. Azi, how you doing, man? Welcome to the podcast.
Azi girl.
No. We're very blessed and privileged to have you on Posties podcast. You know what I'm saying? You're finally gonna add some value.
We're adding value.
Finally.
The previous episode we had this, we had this up and coming rapper in the previous episode. You know what I'm saying?
Coming upping.
Hey.
Excuse me?
And coming.
Point of the story is, guys, we have a very special guest, guys. We got the other half of the twins, so go back and watch Azi Booi's episode 2. But we're here now with, as Alex said, the number one dietitian in the country.
Dietitian, great human being, nicest person you ever known.
Educated. She even has cooking classes now. Man. What doesn't she do, guys? Shit.
Azi, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing great.
Thank you so much for coming onto the podcast. You know what I'm saying? We are excited to have these chats, you know what I'm saying? Educating the nation.
Educating the masses.
You know what I'm saying? No, it's been a long time coming, and we almost like scheduling was fighting us a little bit.
It was fighting. It was fighting.
We figured out a way. We low-key over the schedule already.
Yeah.
But like you're back in your home city almost.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I call it my home city.
Really, like Cape Town is it, guys.
Cape Town is where it was like my formative years. I feel like it's where I became an adult. It's where I found myself. Where I found myself in my career. In my everyone. So I love Cape Town.
We're gonna get into it today.
I mean, speaking about your career as well, like if there's one thing that I have someone who has known you for a while can pick out is that you're super passionate about what you do. Like it's not just a job and it's not just an occupation. It's something that you actually find fulfillment. Tell us about that. Do you actually find fulfillment, like, or do you just play it off really good? You know what I'm saying? Look, you should be an actress.
I'm just an actress. That's
no, you actually
that's how people are gonna say, "Hey, do you even have that degree? Do you even have that?"
Guys, she's got them.
Yeah, no, I am actually pretty passionate
Where does that
about what I
come
do.
from, bro?
I think I've always just loved food. I grew up cooking with my mom. baking with my dad.
Wow.
So I've always wanted to be in the food space.
Can bake.
Hey, so we were here needing.
Man.
So yeah, I learned a lot from them, and they were always quite health conscious, just because like Tata has like in the family high cholesterol is a thing on my dad's side.
Yeah.
Type 2 diabetes on my mom's side. So I think when they found out that my dad had high cholesterol, we know it's genetic. He was like, okay, what should I do? He went to the most extreme thing. He was like, I'm going to stop eating red meat. I'm going to stop eating chicken. I'm going to stop eating everything that could potentially increase my cholesterol. So he that was like 24 years ago.
Wow. Almost before you were born.
23 years, 24. Yeah. I think I was like 3 or something when that happened.
You were.
I was young, So that I think their influence really is what made me get into what I do as well, just because they were so passionate about health. And I was passionate about it too, but I also wanted the health to also like have an aspect of like excitement. Yeah. Because I felt like a lot of the times like love them to bits, but sometimes I would get really bored.
I get you.
By what I was like, we're eating vegetables again.
I was told us about the pantry.
We've been there in the house, so we understand the dynamics. We understand.
Exactly.
Versus they got superfoods. Crazy.
Yeah, they were.
But like part of that journey, like obviously you've gotten to now being a dietitian. But at the end of the day, there was a time where you had to be fed meat and you were making your brothers late for school.
Facts.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah.
So how do we start there and get to literally where you are now through, okay, cool, you studied a certain type of way, you've been there in Tigerberg. Like, in that actual journey, where did it start? Because, cool, you talked about like the health journey for your parents and how that's influenced that. Yeah. But like you yourself, like your love for food and specifically healthy food, how did that start?
I think it was in high school. Like I was really big on having like exciting lunches. So I started making my own lunches, and like I would be online, like the whole Pinterest thing, and I had all these Pinterest boards of the lunches that I wanted to make, and people were always looking at my lunch like, what is she gonna eat today?
Pinteresting lunch is crazy.
Yeah. So I was that person for my school lunches. And
what was your favorite lunch?
Peanut butter jam.
My favorite lunch.
Than that, bro.
Come
on now.
It wasn't that. I think I enjoyed like making different like types of like salads or like a fun burger, fun anything. Like it really just depended on what I was feeling. Like I can't even pinpoint exactly what was my go-to favorite back then. But yeah, I think once I started really researching into like what career paths I could do, like I went and I saw a psychiatrist or psychometrist for job shadowing. Like in like high school, the school organized it so you can kind of get a feel of what it's like to be in the different careers, if you want to go that route or not. And I was like, this is so boring. This is so boring. I want to help people, but I don't think this is for me. And then I just came across like a lot of things about nutrition online, and I spoke to my parents about it. And then I found a dietitian who was in a hospital and a dietitian who was in like a private practice. So I went and saw the ones in the hospital, and it was quite a big hospital. So like they had like a very big kitchen. So there was a dietitian for the kitchen who was also the food service manager.
What was the name of the if you remember?
The hospital name definitely changed, so I don't remember what it was called. I remember where it is. I know it's very close to Wits. I think it might have been the hospital that the Wits students use. I'm not too sure. But yeah, went in and also was with the dietitians in the ICU. And I remember like the craziest experience happened. We were in one of the like wards for one of the isolated patients, so that like we were just seeing them. They were telling me about like how they do like nutrition assessments, because I think some people are like, dietitian in a hospital, that's crazy. Like they would never think of it. Like people don't realize like,
put a burger in my drip, man.
Put a burger in my drip. Literally. And that's what we do. Like if you look at like the different contents of the different feeds that are there, it's literally all of your carbs, your proteins, your vitamins and minerals, all broken down in a way that people can actually still access, whether it's the vein or whether it's straight to the stomach, like depending on what the case is. So it's cool. Like when I learned that, I was like, oh, I actually never thought of like if someone is sick or someone's in a coma, or if they literally don't have a stomach, if they've had like stomach cancer, like how are they gonna get nutrients? Like how are they gonna eat?
So are you like a drip gourmet chef?
Gourmet drip.
I That's hilarious.
Dietitians give gourmet drip.
Yeah.
For sure. No, it's so cool. It's so exciting. And being able to just see how much of an impact that makes in terms of like people's quality of life, people like not being in hospital as long, like especially if they get started on the right like nutrition plans. It's so interesting to me. So after that job shadowing, I was like, I can do a lot with this. And then speaking to the other dietitian who was like in the like private practice setting, I was like, okay, so I can be in corporate, I can be in a hospital, I can have my own business, like I can be in the food industry. I was like, there's so much scope, especially because like when you're young, who like making a decision for the rest of your life when you're like 15, 16.
My boy, in grade 9.
That's a lot of pressure.
Grade 10 for some people.
That's mad.
That's a lot of pressure. So I think I was really grateful that I got to choose something that had so much scope. Like at this point, I still do hospital work, but I'm realizing I really enjoy more of the corporate stuff. I enjoy a lot more of the media stuff. I enjoy like seeing patients in person within my practice. So it's been dope. Like it's been very cool. And just getting to this point, like studying and all of that, and the people that I've met along the way, I feel like I'm so grateful to like be doing something that I love and like genuinely be able to say that like I love what I do, and like I get excited to like do my work, and
I can see it resonating right now. Like you're glowing, you're smiling. I want to talk a little bit about impact, and specifically impact on life in a specific sphere of like mental health. And like how does like your nutrition and specifically those things impact any individual's mental health, specifically in like your consulting days now?
Yeah, sure. Nutrition and mental health is like probably one of the areas that I'm most interested in, just because I think people really underestimate like the power of food in terms of for your brain health when you don't get enough of different vitamins, minerals, like healthy fats. It does have a negative impact on like having more mood symptoms, depressive symptoms, like so if you're not getting enough of your omega-3s, the healthy fats, if you're eating like a very Western diet, so let's say it's chips, it's sweets, it's lots of takeaways, like all of the processed foods, lots of sugars, refined sugars, it negatively impacts your mental health.
Straight facts. And even in my own personal experience, I've noticed it, and especially now that things are just getting more intense, like I know to balance my energy, I need to like do something with my carbs. I don't figure them out, you know what I'm saying, with my glucose intake, and then not take too much sugar because I'm going to crash energy-wise at some point. So, like, it's so nuts, bro, living life and then realizing that, like, it's not even at the stage of, like, am I eating? It's about what am I eating? Can that make me last until, like, 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 10 p.m., midnight? And I've noticed that literally just that intake, like having my proper breakfast and then like a proper like lunch at the same time, maybe snacks in the middle. If I play that game like not correctly, I end up crashing a little bit like sooner, or end up having like a weird like mood thing going on just because of what I ate. And that's so interesting about it. Like, how did you like, the question on that would be like now, obviously at this stage, let's talk about you and how you implement this in your own personal life. At this stage, you in your 20s and you're rock starring the dietitian industry and you're just like changing people's lives. But now, what sort of diet rules do you put on yourself to make sure that you have the most productive day?
No, that's great. I think eating like to have like sustained energy is so important because everyone had that 2 p.m. where you feel like you could take a nap. It's so common. So like eating for sustained energy doesn't just mean the carbs. The carbs are very important. So you want those slow digestible carbs, like the very brown starches, lots of fiber, because that gives you like a slow release of energy so you can keep going for a lot longer. Eating more regularly, I think, is important. A lot of us skip meals. So that's another thing. Having coffee as a meal, it's not a meal.
Sorry, guilty.
Guilty. I mean,
coffee lover over here.
Very guilty. So the girl dinners, I've seen them, you know. So
that's bad right now.
I almost entered a girl dinner phase of my life. Shout out to Love My Life, making sure I was fed. Crazy.
No, but I think it's really important to make sure that you are eating enough and eating consistently. So like I mentioned, the carbs, but protein and healthy fats just as important as well. And then getting lots of veg in, because that's also going to give you that extra sustained energy, the extra fiber. But just balance. And it doesn't have to, I think people think a healthy balanced diet has to be like quinoa and like all these things that you don't eat, matcha and like it doesn't have to be that.
exotic.
Chill out.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be that. It can be what you have. Like it's like what can you add to your diet to make it healthier? What can you add to make it to have a little bit more energy? So like if you know you're like an oats person, add a little bit of peanut butter, add a fruit in there instead of just adding sugar, and you'll find yourself feeling a lot more full for longer.
Yeah, the adding sugar thing is a trap.
Yeah, because at least if you've got the fruit sugars, you've also got some extra fiber from there. That's also going to keep you full for longer. Or like a lunchtime, if you usually like having a burger, add some toppings into the burger. Put some coleslaw on the side.
You're saying bacon.
Bacon. I mean,
sorry,
bacon's okay. We're okay with a little bit of bacon here and there, but just being mindful, I think, of the types of fats that you're eating is important because we love meats as South Africans.
Yes.
So making sure we're trying to get a little bit more variety, a little bit more leaner proteins and things is really important.
Crazy.
But yeah, I think also just making sure we're eating our fruits and veg and snacking, because I think snacking can also help to just give you a little bit more energy throughout the day.
Nuts and facts. I mean, nuts that's crazy. No pun intended. Nuts.
I know.
Boom.
As a snack.
Bars. In fact, it's so true. I think like there's a huge separation, and there shouldn't be, between like how the industry is perceived in reality. Because a lot of us, I feel like, aren't as conscious on what we eat and what we're consuming, and aren't also conscious in the effect that it has on our daily life and well-being and the way we sleep and the way the
concentration as well. I think people forget, like if you're struggling, like you have all of these deadlines at work and you're struggling to function, sometimes it's because you've been so overwhelmed and stressed that you've forgotten to eat. And how are you gonna be able to concentrate effectively if you haven't been giving your body the source of energy that it needs? Exactly. Literally. So I think that's one thing. Meal skipping, massive thing. It's something I always see with my clients as well. A lot of people skip meals just because of time, but also just changing your aspect of what you think healthy looks like is so important, because it's not this thing that's only for mang from Constantia. It's like it's for anyone, it's for everyone.
And scoring goes beyond just protein, by the way.
Protein and your creatine and gym lifestyle.
It's beyond all of that stuff.
Yeah, but something I want to tap into now, because traditionally, like the field that you're in dietitian and the health roots has, I think traditionally it's been very much like consultation based and whatnot, and I feel like you bridge the gap a little bit with social media now. And I want to talk a little bit about that journey and like marrying the content creation side and making all the information that you have out there so accessible from anyone that follows Azi Booi on Instagram.
Facts.
Because the reels there are going crazy.
As Azi Booi.
Like literally, how did you marry that? Was it a thing where as soon as you dived into dietitian, you wanted to do that? Or like how did that process come about?
I had a conversation with a lecturer of mine in like first year or second year, and I was like, social media is a thing, and I really have always enjoyed blogging. What are your thoughts on like having like a nutrition blog, or what are your thoughts on like me as a dietitian student posting on social media? And she was extremely against it. She was extremely against it. She said, do not post anything until you're qualified. I actually listened to what she said. I had originally had some nutrition content, but I stopped after I had that conversation with her. And I said, I'm going to listen to her and go the traditional route. And now,
why did she say that? Was it just like a?
I think it was from a very traditional perspective of you're not qualified yet.
Okay.
So if you're going to be giving this information, you might not. You're still learning how to do research properly and all of that. So, but I mean, I'm grateful for her for that, because it actually allowed me to like get into it during lockdown. Guys, that's when I started my page. It was a fun thing. I was placed. So we all get placed in ComServe as healthcare professionals. So it's supposed to be to Engob. So ComServe is basically like the year where you can
sorry.
But it's supposed to be the year where you go and it's supposed to give you like a little bit more experience, to be able to be mentored, to be placed in different areas of the country, to potentially give you like more work stability afterwards. Some people would get permanent placements after that. Not the case anymore, but it really helped me. Yeah, not anymore, unfortunately. Like the job security is
secure in this life anymore.
Yeah, it's not. Especially in healthcare, I think people think there is security, but there isn't. And that was one of the things I heard.
I could be a white doctor and not actually be hired.
Yeah. That's true.
I thought that I won. I studied all these years
now
to get that DR.
I gotta study.
Listen,
Boy.
the MBCHB, not even.
MBCHB Nyana.
Yo, it's crazy. So like because of that, I realized that during my ComServe, and I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm gonna do next year because there's no security. I'm speaking to these dietitians who've been in the industry for years, some of them decades, and they're saying you need to find a way because like people, whenever there's a job post, there's thousands of dietitians,
of course.
thousands who are sitting at home and don't have a job. So you need to find a way. And I thought, okay, let me just do the social media thing. Maybe it's gonna help me to network, meet other dietitians who can maybe assist me in like opening other doors, or it's gonna teach me to like give more nutrition information, or it's like it's gonna do something. So it was a bit of a business move as much as it was like a passion. So it was like a little blend of the two. So that's how I kind of got into like corporate wellness the next year after that, because they saw the kind of content I had made, because I added that to my CV because for some reason I was like, let me just add it in my CV. It was still taboo, I think, back then, but I added it, and they said they absolutely love how I present my work, how I communicate. It's very easily understandable. It's something that they really need in the corporate wellness space.
To be honest, you really sore thumb in the industry because your family is super artistic.
I know, I'm completely different.
But you do bring all of those like assets from the artistic world, like as in just like how to interact.
I like that you brought that up, Alex, because we can talk about the Booi family in a sense. Because what I also love that you guys do is that you guys, in some sense, you marry everything. Because like I'm just gonna talk about like writing camps that Bubele has. We haven't had him on the podcast yet, and he's coming, guys.
Yes, sir.
But like you guys marry it so well in the sense that if there's a writing camp happening and the focus is music, then the nutrition is very important, and then you come in that aspect, and then the visuals are very important, and Abo comes in the aspect.
Beautiful.
And the family side, like, has that ever been like a conversation where it's like, hey, guys, we're building an empire in a sense, or it's like we're doing this together? Like, was that ever a conversation, or was that a natural thing that came about?
I think we've always just really supported each other in our crafts, and like whatever we can do to get each other on board. If I have a project and I need someone to do some like videography, if I have like a podcast and I need like the intro song, like I've always gone to them to help me with that kind of stuff.
Like, ayo,
exactly. So like they've been exactly the same with me as well. So like I actually pitched the whole thing of cooking for my brother at his writing camps to him, because I said, listen, you guys are I know you're gonna sit and you're gonna be wondering like, what am I gonna eat? Like, let me come and help you be more efficient.
With artists, like I can't eat everything before I record. Because certain things are gonna like mess up my vocal cords. Like dairy is not a good thing, you know what I'm saying? Like there's certain things that dry them out. So like I can see the value that you'd bring in a set like that, because like she kind of doesn't have to not worry about what she's eating, because like someone's thought about this already.
Yeah, it helps a lot, because I think decision fatigue, like you're making so many decisions already in those sessions. It's a lot of work, and I've seen them like do in
you're
their
making
craft
decisions every second.
No, it's crazy. So like I think, from my perspective, I just wanted to make their lives easier. And I was like, I also want to go on the camp. Let me find a way there, bro.
It's a win-win for everyone.
And it helped me, because it also helped me to like find a way to curate more recipes. And I love cooking. So it was just something that I wanted to use to also level up my cooking skills as well. So it's been
crazy.
Amazing.
You leveled up to the point where you're even hosting cooking classes now.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about those.
Guys, I think that's one of the funnest parts about like my career right now. I'm really enjoying hosting those cooking classes, because I think, first of all, South Africans love groove. There's so few things you can find.
You have next at your cooking classes. At least they
are welcome drinks.
As you're cooking.
Yeah, no, there are welcome drinks on arrival, and a bar for people to use, like a cash bar for them to use at their disposal. But it's really just about connecting people and teaching them how to eat healthy.
Yeah, and teaching them the intentionality of eating.
Exactly, because I think a lot of people don't know how. They want to eat healthy, healthy, and they're like, oh, but healthy food is boring or it's
Yeah.
bland. It's just salt and pepper,
And
salt
you're
and
like,
pepper,
no,
salt
guys,
and
it's
pepper.
not the case.
Not at all. Yeah, it's so much more than that, and it's so fun and it's so much more flavorful. So I've been really enjoying teaching people that aspect, but also just enjoying people connecting with each other, like seeing people connect and come up with the meals, and like it's also formed a bit of a community as well, which is really something that I've enjoyed.
I can't wait to be at my first one.
Yeah,
Same.
no, you guys must definitely come. But it's also
And you host them in
enjoy.
Joburg and in Cape Town and
Just
wherever you
Joburg.
end up being.
Joburg, Cape Town, not yet. I did try.
Nationwide soon come.
Cape Townians will come back. We'll definitely just give you guys more time.
Please. Yay.
So, Cape Townians,
Get your money right, Oaks.
Yeah, get your money right.
Assembly.
I want to tap into a little bit of what we spoke about earlier when you're talking about ComServe. And I actually want to ask you, what's the wildest story during that year? And because specifically you did it during COVID.
I did.
You did it during Corona fucking virus. Don't forget. Like,
All
what
of
was...
my cousins thought I was not going to survive. They thought, hey, this girl.
Yeah, so like, what's
how are you gonna do
the...
this?
and even if there's more than one, like, what's the wildest stories that came out of that year for you that actually built your experience and like maybe also your tolerance via health?
Yeah.
I think I would say the lack of resources was very heartbreaking for me to see in the community. Like
An eye-opener.
An eye-opener, definitely, to be more grateful for what we have. Because, I mean, in a hospital setting where there were times where they would run out of, like,
Trips.
they'd run out of the pain medication at a hospital. Or
pain medication.
They would run out of, like, for instance, we have to give people sip feeds and things. They would run out of that. There were so many things that they would run out of.
The electricity meter ran out.
Of course, at some stage, I wouldn't be surprised.
It's not even load shedding, bruh. We just didn't pay.
No, but it was really, it was hectic. I think the most hectic experience that I had must have been when we had ran out of calories. Not even.
I'm silly. Hey, guys, apologize.
Not even close. This one was actually, like, I think the worst experience that I saw. It was a diabetic patient who didn't get prescribed their diabetic medication. So they almost went into a coma.
Oh no!
Because we were looking at their charts and we're like, why are we not seeing the medication here? They never prescribed, and this was a known diabetic that had been with us like for some time.
For years.
They'd been visiting the hospital, but
can I say for years, or is that just like a gross exaggeration?
I don't know. I was only there for a year, so it could have been years without me being there. But it was. I think that was the hardest thing. Just sometimes also the negligence that we'd see from just healthcare system, because people are so depleted from it. They're also so overworked that sometimes I feel like they can't perform to their best. And like that's why I say, like, I really take my hat off to the doctors, man. Like, because it's so much work, but it's really tough. The hours are really not good at all. So,
and I love the fact that you're bringing it up, because the point of this is also to shine light on the inefficiencies in the country and in our society, you know. Because we don't want those problems to be occurring in 5 years' time, you know. As a diabetic, I don't want to have to struggle. I'm not a diabetic, but like as someone who might be diabetic, I don't want to have to struggle to save my life.
Or any health deficiency.
You know what I'm saying? Where something in the first world is like easily available.
And I think it's very frustrating, because it also just shows you that, like, in terms of society, it shows you the hierarchies of like something like this wouldn't happen at a private hospital.
Yeah, of course.
But it's happening here in this district hospital, public hospital, and it just sometimes I would feel so frustrated, because I'm like, it's not fair. Everyone should have access to help. It should be something that everyone can kind of access without having to have the whole day out, because those people, they literally come to the clinic at 4, 5 in the morning to line up before they open the doors. And then they still have to be there the whole day and wait until they
I was there at 5 and get seen at 12 p.m.
Yeah, and sometimes they would have come at that time and still not get seen and have to come the next day. So it's really frustrating. I think that's the biggest frustration for me with the healthcare system, is just like the inefficiencies that you can't control, and you want to help everyone, but they're also overworked, and they also have the healthcare providers only have so much time that they can help people as well. So I think if we had more hospitals, it would really help, or if we had more professionals that were hired, and I think it would make a difference.
On that note, what would you say right now, like the biggest like deficiencies in the healthcare system?
Let's talk about that.
I think I can only
Can
speak from...
I refine it to in the dietitian industry?
Yeah, I was going to say I can only speak from my experience as like a registered dietitian. But I think...
Talk about it.
I think it really... Let's talk about it.
Registered.
Verified.
To the stars.
Eventually, to the stars, to the moon.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I would say my main one would be definitely the chronic diseases of lifestyle. Like these are things like diabetes, like
blood pressure,
cholesterol. Heart diseases.
Yeah.
There's so many things we can do to prevent those kinds of issues, even if it is genetic and it's all lifestyle focused. Genetics is basically like, okay, pre and post face beat. You can put makeup on and that's your lifestyle. Your lifestyle is the makeup you put on.
Wow.
Or you could not do that at all. So if you're not going to put makeup on...
Analogy. Wow. Yeah, you need to come in sooner. Just to drop this one.
Yeah. So if you're not gonna be able to know how to, or if you're not gonna be able to apply that makeup as a lifestyle, exercise,
those bushy brows.
Manicuring, whatever. Yeah, you can literally, like, that's how it is. You can modify your genes, but with your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Of course, to a certain extent, it depends on how, like, you still have to do rigorous tests. In cases of cancer, there are people who have modified their lifestyles and still will get a diagnosis. But I think lifestyle is such a big factor when it comes to those diseases of lifestyle. And, like, people just don't.
Yeah.
We don't prioritize health. We don't focus enough on what we can add instead of like subtract. I think it's always better to just think of it from that perspective rather than to like make it this like unattainable thing that's like, oh, I will only eat healthy when I'm 45 and I've got all of these chronic diseases. Like if you do it now, we will never get to that point. And it's I think it's something that I'm very passionate about. Just make it a lifestyle, make it fun. If you hate being in the gym, don't go to the gym. Find another way. If you used to love playing netball, play netball. If you really like
lifestyle
your
way,
all your vegetables, but you like carrots, cucumber, tomato, there's different ways that you can prepare those things. But just try and add all of these things into your life and make it fun. Like I will always, if you know that you love making cocktails and you're trying to make it like lower in energy, there's so many like sugar-free syrups and there's so many things that we have access to now that we can still have fun with it.
No, I'm a huge believer in your lifestyle being like a dictator and how like your life actually pans out.
Yeah.
Because I get very gene stereotyped, and they're like, oh, it's because of your genes, but it's my lifestyle. But a question from the live audience.
Live studio audience question.
Okay, so I've always had this question. I was vegan for about 6 years. And I wanted to ask, like, having a plant-based diet, whether it be vegetarian, vegan, whatever it is, long-term effects, does it actually make that big of a difference, whether you decide to be plant-based or have meat in your diet? You get what I'm saying? Like, what advantage does it really make that big of a difference in your long lifespan?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. Plant-based diet is something that's become a lot more popular these days. There are a lot of health benefits in terms of lowering your cholesterol, in terms of just improved energy, weight loss. There are some links to it. Also, just in general, I find that people who are plant-based tend to eat a lot more vegetables as well. So, there's a lot of health benefits from like the research perspective. But in general, like if you are going plant-based or vegetarian or vegan, you need to really make sure that you're getting your bloods tested regularly to prevent any deficiencies. Check your iron levels. Learn how to get enough iron in your diet because you can still get enough iron even if you're on like a plant-based diet. Check your B12 levels to make sure that they're not low. Check your vitamin D, make sure that you've checked all the vitamins as well at the same time. So that's something I would recommend. But I think, the general benefits kind of go back to just the balance of if you're going to be plant-based, you must still be having a lot of fruits and vegetables. Like you mustn't be plant-based and just having, refined starches and all of that.
You got to check your vitamins.
Check your vitamins.
But you also got to check your fits. Which brings me to the second last segment of the show, the drip check, which you haven't done.
Drip cam.
Yo, Azi, what you wearing today?
I'm wearing a jacket, which is, I have no idea where it's from, but
nice.
my friend was lovely enough to let me wear it for the day.
Does the friend deserve a shout out?
Shout out to Jessica.
Shout out to Jessica.
No, let's say shout out to agency.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes. And then the dress is from Cotton On. I got it from the Cotton On factory shop in Woodmead. If you're in Joburg, they have a lot of great specials. They have like 100 Rand for 2 tops, like a lot of really nice specials.
Woodmead level.
And then the shoes, which you can't see, they're just sneakers.
Dope.
Sneakers.
Dope. Tim, what are you wearing?
Shout out, styled by myself today, guys. I'm just wearing this like, is it floral? What is this?
Like snake skin
leather, you know what I'm saying? From H&M, you get me? Like, I'm just trying to look a little bit nice for you guys. You know, it's a dietitian episode, you get me? That's what you're saying.
You know, dietitian episode, you gotta say the color level.
Yeah.
You know?
No. Let's talk about your stylist for the day. Name all of them.
I was styled by all my friends. Shout out Jess, shout out Zoya, shout out Temba. Zoya's the love of my life.
So fuck everyone else you said.
Yeah.
No one else got a disclaimer. Sharp, she's the love of your life, and I love that for you guys. But you just said Temba.
Yeah,
you just said Jess.
You'll find yourself.
You'll find yourself. But yeah, start with my friends looking nice.
Strong.
Looking nice, looking shaky. Which brings me to top 5.
Okay.
Yeah, right. So top 5 is a segment of the show where we ask you to choose 5 options in any segment that we decide to ask you. Right? For example, I'll be like 5 favorite beans, and you'll be like, ooh, red beans, lentil beans, ooh,
kidney
beans.
You
know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that's top 5.
Gotcha.
And my top 5 must be in your diet foods that you would say as a dietitian.
Please, love food. Please.
First thing,
We don't need
regular eating. So I'm with Timber on that. Eating regular meals. Second thing, not necessarily cutting out carbs completely. I think that's a big misconception.
Yeah.
But going for the brown starches, more roughage is always better. Third thing, don't sleep on your veggies. They don't have to be salads or boring. You can sneak them into your meat.
Yeah.
You can sneak them into your
level.
mince, burger. You can add them into a lot of your main dishes just so that it's not boring. Along with your fruit as well. Making sure you're trying to have, in total with your fruit and veg, 4 to 5 a day. Fourth one would be protein, making sure you're getting variety. Get your plant proteins, get your meats, fish, but make sure it's all lean and try and cut down on your processed meats as well. And then the last thing would be healthy fats, but also keeping in mind just fat in general from like processed meats and from takeaways and things. Trying to limit that.
That T-bone, sirloin. I get you.
From my side, top 5. Top 5 health myths that you want to, that you may debunk right now.
The facts. Debunk them.
Yeah, okay. First of all, let's talk about carbs. If you cut out carbs completely, there is only benefits in terms of like if you are diabetic, a low carb diet can help with managing blood sugars from some of what the research says. From a low carb for like completely cutting out carbs, let's say, it's not really necessary. I mean, you can still get a calorie deficit without cutting out carbs.
Right.
Another one, intermittent fasting, only looking at it for weight loss. It's the same as a calorie deficit. So if you do a calorie deficit versus the intermittent fasting, it's going to do the same thing from a weight loss perspective. So you don't necessarily need to, your stomach does not have curfew. So keep that in mind.
I love the way you put it.
So that's 2. 3, keto. Keto was originally for children who have got, I think it was...
Did you say keto?
Yeah, keto diet is a high fat, moderate protein, low carb. So it was for epilepsy in children.
Wow.
Was how it helped to reduce their fits. That's what it was for. Keto in general is going to give you, for like any other fat diet, you will lose the weight quickly, but as soon as you go back to your diet, you will gain the weight back. In fact, we've seen that you gain double and more. I've seen clients who've gained triple or quadruple the weight back.
Wow.
So it's not sustainable.
Wow. Yeah,
so that's how many have I done? 3. 4, lemon water, apple cider vinegar.
I wanted to ask about that, actually.
Lemon water, apple cider vinegar. if it helps you to drink more water, great, but just be careful, because if you're drinking lemon water and then you're going to go brush your teeth, you're actually going to wear down that thin layer of protection, the enamel around your teeth. I've had people who have... Yeah, you know, he watches Sakari.
Bro, there's so many questions I need to ask Azi, bro.
He watches
Not the last time.
Yeah.
It's not the last time. Health with Azi. Oops.
Yeah. So you have to drink a glass of water before. I mean, if you're going to be like plain water just before you brush your teeth. I've seen patients who break their teeth, who've had cracks because of lemon water. So careful of that. It's not a weight loss trick. It's just giving you. Some people haven't been drinking enough water to begin with. It gives you that feeling of fullness because of that hydration, but it's not a meal. It's not. This
I do
weight loss
warm
trick.
water and just for my vocals. I don't
That's
do it for
perfect.
like weights and stuff.
No, that's perfect. And also, if you like lemon water, cool.
Yeah.
And the last one would be these weight loss teas, these weight loss pills.
Ooh, call them out!
Shout out Herbalife.
Or not.
No comments. No comments.
Shout out Tupperware. Or not.
In general, the weight loss industry is $1 billion industry.
Yeah, full of fads.
That's
lots
good
of fads. They use all these tricks and tips to try and make you believe that you're supposed to be taking all of these things. You're supposed to be taking these weight loss teas, etc.
Yeah.
A lot of them have laxatives in them. They have a laxative effect, long-term laxative effects.
So that's the secret.
Health.
Just make you. That's how you lose weight.
And it also gives you. It also gives you that. It lowers your appetite as well. A lot of them reduce your appetite.
Yeah.
So
caffeine.
Long term, a lot of caffeine in them. Long term, not great for the gut health. Long term, not good for you either. We need to
Gut
be in
health,
lifestyle.
guys,
We need to
gut
look at
health.
lifestyle.
Yeah.
Look at your gut health. All of those things are so important. So
Isn't kombucha good with gut health?
it is. It's a probiotic, but it also depends if you're making it yourself or if you're buying it.
Which one's better?
supplier.
Yeah, what's
I would say it
inside
depends
it?
on the supplier. If you can still see the strings in there, you know that there's still some bacteria. That's going to be good for the gut. But yeah, just being very careful. Be careful of where you get your nutrition advice from. There's a lot of influencers who give nutrition advice that is not evidence-based. They're sucking it out of their thumb. They're telling you to do all of these things. They're telling you to follow certain diets that they themselves haven't followed, where they have actually had work done, or they've done all of these cosmetic procedures, which I'm not opposed to. Anyone can do anything that they want with their bodies. Everyone has agency over their bodies, but to promote health as this look is where I have an issue sometimes, because they give you this feeling of, oh, this is how I should look like to be healthy. And we just need to be very careful of where we get our nutrition advice. So go to registered health professionals. You can actually look them up on the health professionals.
Oh, just go to Health.
Come to me as well. Always happy.
Azi, to wrap up quickly, please plug everything that you're doing right now. What's coming up in your future? What the one thing I want to
Why are you plugging Azi? I'm gonna go bathroom. Oh, sorry, I've tried my best.
You might miss the outro, my brother. It's the first outro he's gonna miss, but we're gonna do it together because we have a new podcast. I'm joking. I'm joking. But Azi, please plug everything that you're doing right now. Let's build health with Azi. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you can find me on healthwithazi.com. You can book your sessions there with me. You can find me on IG, Instagram at Azi_Booi or Azi Booi Dietician. Azi Booi Dietician. Or if you want cooking classes and that, you can also find all my details online. Otherwise, I do have a podcast as well with Mbali, who is the urban dietitian. We are called the Dietitian Frequency.
Yes, sir. Guys, to wrap up, I want to say last time, shout out to the live studio audience. Guys, yes, we do. Yes, we do. And guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for being a part of the Posties family. Yes, he's back from the bathroom.
Right.
And guys, I want to say, as always, the journey continues.
Always. The journey continues.